Alright, where were we? Now we will move on to Velvet Underground and Nico. I bought this. This is another one I bought sort of just to have, but it's a cool reissue. The back cover. And then it's got the gatefold here. And this one has the, I guess on the originals it was like this too. You can, it says peel slowly and see, and you peel the cover if it'll cooperate with me, and then it reveals the banana underneath. So I always thought that was cool, and it doesn't lose its stick either, so that's another cool part of it. So this was a fairly pricey reissue, but you know, it's a classic. Gotta have it. Here we have Incense and Peppermints by the Strawberry Alarm Clock. I always loved the cover for this. Like, there's just some crazy psychedelic album covers, and this is one of them for me. And then it's got the back. Yeah, this is a solid album. I really like Rainy Day Mushroom Pillow. That's probably one of my favorite psychedelic songs that there is. I think I got this on Easter last year, 2014. But it's a solid album. It's a good Psych classic to have. Here we have Sgt Pepper. I know I'm going to get flack for this, but this is the only Beatles album I have, because they're so expensive. I'd get the White Album next, but they're just so pricey. I also don't have any Pink Floyd or The Doors on vinyl, because they're just expensive and I haven't gotten around to getting them. But it's got the gatefold. I love this picture. I think it's cool that with the uniforms they're wearing there. So this is a really good album. I mean, of course, everyone says that. I like the some of the tracks you don't hear as much about. I like Getting Better and Fixing a Hole, and She's Leaving Home. I shed manly tears to that song. I'm not afraid to admit it. Here we have Vanilla Fudge's first record. This is one of the first albums I bought ever. I got this at the county fair one year, and got it just because I thought it looked cool, and I'd heard about Vanilla Fudge. Here's the Mamas and the Papas. Don't really know if this belongs in the Psych category. They're kind of psychedelic, I guess. I got this from my grandparents. They sort of gave it to me. They had it. And I guess they used to listen to the Mamas and the Papas quite a bit back in the 60s. So that's kind of cool to have. Here we have Heavy by Iron Butterfly. I wasn't really sure whether to put Iron Butterfly in the psychedelic or the heavy, like the rock category, because I put Blue Cheer and Cream in the rock category. But Iron Butterfly has organ. They're a little more psychedelic, I guess. This album's pretty good. I discovered this album like freshman year of high school, and I just recently bought it on vinyl. I like Iron Butterfly theme. That's a real sort of doomy, heavy track. And Gentle as It May Seem and Possession. Those are two other good songs on there. I like the cover too. Here's Zenigata Da Vida. I have stumbled upon dozens of copies of this album. It's really quite a bit more common than I thought it would be. But this side, I mean, this album plays really good. It was one of the first records I got. I always thought it was just funny how, I mean, I don't know if the camera's picking it up that well, but there's just no separating grooves on side 2 because of how long the title track is. I've started listening to this album a little more lately. I went through a phase where I was super into it, but I haven't really been that way lately, I guess. Here's Santana's first album. I also got into Santana my freshman year of high school. I think that was the year where I started really getting into the psychedelic stuff. And Santana was one of the bands because I saw them play Soul Sacrifice on the Woodstock movie. And when I heard Michael Shreve's drum solo, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So I really like the early Santana. I'm trying to get Abraxas on vinyl, but I think this one is better. This one is definitely my favorite of theirs. Really those first two, and maybe Santana 3 or whatever it's called. Those are the only 3 I really care about, because they're just different and good. Here's another one of my favorites, Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators. I absolutely love this cover. This is one of my favorite album covers of all time. I will never forget the first time I heard You're Gonna Miss Me. I was floored by that track, and it's still one of my... I don't have very many favorite songs, but that one is definitely on the list. And I love all of the writing and explanation on the back. I'm pretty positive this is a reissue, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't know, it plays really well, and it's definitely an awesome album to have. Definitely top 10 for me. Here we have Fat. This is sort of another obscure record. This is not original, this is a reissue. When I bought this, I didn't know a lot about vinyl. I just knew that this was an obscure album, and for whatever reason, I thought it was an original pressing. Didn't spend very much money on it, but I bought it nonetheless, and this is a really good album. I was kind of surprised how good it was, actually. It sounds very rural influenced, but, well, I don't know if that makes any sense. It just sounds like it'd be recorded out in a sort of country town like where I live. So I really like it. I'm glad I got it. And finally, oh no, we've got 2 more. We have In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. This is a good album. I mean, 21st Century Schizoid Man, of course, is on there. I don't remember the first time I heard this. I just know that I've wanted to get more into King Crimson for a while, and this is sort of an essential album to have. One of my friend's dads actually had this album, and I was trying to get it out of his hands, but he wouldn't let it go, so can't really blame him. And finally, we have One Fine Morning by Lighthouse. I can't tell you too much about this band. This record, I swear, I bought it like 2 years ago, and I still have not listened to it. I need to listen to it. I first heard about this band from my high school band teacher. He played it for us in class one day during jazz band, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I found a copy at Half Price Books the first time I really went record shopping. Haven't seen one since, so maybe it's good I bought it, I don't know. I didn't spend very much money on it. So there we go, that's the end of the Psych and Punk